Welcome to the Hillsborian Historian. My name is Rex, and today we're taking a look at the history of the old Swiss house located in Busch Gardens, Tampa. This old map says it is on Temple Terrace Highway, but that is now Busch Boulevard, and it was around 30th Street. It's number 30 on this map, and it is number 22 on this park map, way over to the right. Way back in the early 1950s, August Busch Jr. met his third wife to be, Gertrude Buchholzer, in the original Old Swiss house in Lucerne, Switzerland. And in 1964, as a gift for Trudy, August Busch began construction on the Tampa version. Look at the construction in Tampa at this time. Sometimes it is said that an ostrich would come in to supervise the workers at the construction site. That must have been pretty cool. They're hoping for a May 1964 completion, but it's going to be delayed. Then they're talking about September, but that gets delayed. Here's a look at the interior of this wonderful place. A lot of this stuff was reproductions from the original Swiss house back in Switzerland. There was a plumber's strike, and therefore the grand opening is pushed back to December 7th, 1964. Of course, once it opened, it was super popular, and those flags represent the cantons of Switzerland. A canton is kind of like a state. It's considered to be one of the most upscale restaurants in Tampa at the time. It was kind of fancy. In January of 1965, Ed McMahon, he of the Tonight Show fame, recorded a commercial at the Old Swiss house.
This is the African Veldt. Not in darkest Africa, but in sunny Florida. And to make things even more international, this is the balcony of the Old Swiss house. The fine new showplace overlooking this fantastic African game preserve at Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida. Each year, nearly 2 million visitors tour the brewery as guests of Anheuser-Busch. In fact, this is the largest tourist attraction in Florida. Here you see what can be seen only in a Budweiser brewery, beechwood aging. That's the exclusive process that makes Budweiser, well, Budweiser. Now you'll see rhinos and zebras, even cheetahs like my friend Atari right here. Get a giraffe's eye view from the safety and comfort of a mile-long monorail in this fascinating African Veldt. Well, you're invited to see all the sights and enjoy the hospitality. That Bud, that's beer.
In March of 1965, they put in a fancy clock tower. Here's some rare footage showing construction of the clock tower. You can see it over here on the left. By September, the monorail was open to the public. Yet another amazing attraction at Busch Gardens. This was a fun place to go, you can tell. I mean, you're seeing the animals, you're seeing the monorail, you're right by Busch Gardens. At this time, they were closed on Sundays and holidays. But in 1968, they were open on Sundays during the summer. A lot of special events were held here, banquets and engagement parties. This couple already looks drunk. Now, in 1970, the Swiss House was designated as a nuclear shelter, although I'm sure many would actually go to the brewery. But you can see it here on this map. It is designated as a nuclear shelter. Pretty cool stuff. Look at these old cars. This is really cool footage. Elegance was always in the air at this place. I just love the cars. I love the way everything's looking in these pictures. They're so cool. Look at this. Very impressive. It's all about ambiance and presentation, isn't it? Pretty fancy. These elephants, they're enjoying the day also. Look at these huge lobsters. That's crazy. And then there's these kids. I got to go there on a field trip. I never got to do that. That must have been fun. In 1974, the old Swiss house turned off its lighted sign in order to save energy, but this led many to think that the place was closed. Here's a menu from way back in the day. What would you order? There's a lot of choices. In 1975, the old Swiss house would have expanded hours, 7 days a week, and the manager symbolically threw away the key. By the early 80s, the allure of the old Swiss house was kind of fading a bit. For the most part, critics did like it. But in 1982, it closed down to retool, and it stayed closed. In 1987, the old Swiss house was used for Busch Gardens auditions. Finally, in 1990, the old building reopened as the Crown Colony House. K-rations from the old nuclear site days were discovered during this renovation. And later in 2016, the building became Serengeti Overlook. Okay, so the old Swiss house came and the old Swiss house went, and it left us with the usual souvenirs. Pretty cool stuff, huh? But what about all the fancy recipes? Well, here's a few. Cubed beef fillet Swahili style with Swahili sauce. Grasshopper pie. Swiss cheese soup. Sauerkraut balls. I think I'm passing on that one. Ville scallopine à la Milanaise. I think I butchered that pronunciation. And Swiss house cheesecake. Now that I will eat. And of course, breast of duck bigarade. Hey, thanks for taking one last trip to the old Swiss house with me. No long faces, but it is time for me to go. Make sure you take care of yourselves out there.